1 year married, no intimacy, black lady, ready to leave. Until Billionaire stared at her. Simone adjusted her wedding ring for what felt like the 1000th time that evening, watching it catch the dim light of the hotel bar. 1 year, 365 days of sleeping on opposite sides of a king-size bed, of goodnight kisses that barely grazed her cheek, of conversations that never went deeper than grocery lists and utility bills. Marcus was a good mankind, responsible, faithful, but somewhere between I do and now, they become roommates who shared a last name. She tried everything. The lingerie that stayed hidden in her drawer, the romantic dinners that ended with him falling asleep on the couch, the direct conversations that he deflected with promises of soon and when work calms down. Tonight was supposed to be their anniversary dinner. Marcus had canceled 3 hours ago. Emergency at work. Again. Simone took a long sip of her wine, blinking back the sting in her eyes. She'd already made her decision. The divorce papers were in her car, unsigned but ready. She just needed the courage to go home and tell him it was over. Is this seat taken? She looked up, ready to politely decline, but the words died in her throat. The man standing beside her was striking, not conventionally handsome, but commanding in a way that made the crowded bar seem to fade into background noise. Dark suit, silver at his temples, eyes that seemed to see straight through her careful composure. Something about him felt familiar, though she was certain they'd never met. It's all yours, she said, gesturing to the empty stool. He sat, ordered a scotch, then turned to her with a slight smile. Anniversary. Simone's hand flew to her ring. That obvious? You've been staring at it like it's a puzzle you can't solve. His voice was warm, non-judgmental. I'm Daniel, by the way. Simone. They shook hands, and she felt a jolt of something she hadn't experienced in longer than she cared to admit. Genuine interest, attraction, the flutter of possibility. She immediately felt guilty. So, Daniel said, swirling his drink. Is he late, or did he not show? She should have been offended by the assumption, but his tone held only kindness. Cancelled. Work emergency. On your anniversary. He shook his head. I used to do that. Used to. 15 years of marriage. I built an empire while my wife built a life I wasn't part of. By the time I looked up from my desk, she'd already left emotionally. At least, the divorce just made it official. He met her eyes. Biggest regret of my life. Simone felt tears threatening again. What if you tried everything? What if you showed up and he just didn't? Daniel was quiet for a moment. Then maybe you're not the problem. Maybe he's just not capable of seeing what's right in front of him. They talked for hours. Daniel listened in a way Marcus never had really listened. Asked questions, remembered details. He told her about his company. She'd nearly choked on her wine when she realized he was that Daniel Chen, the tech billionaire whose face was regularly on magazine covers, about his daughter in college, about learning too late what mattered. I have something to show you, he said suddenly, pulling out his phone. My wife's wife, she sent this to me last year. It was a photo of a woman in a wedding dress, young and radiant, standing beside a younger version of Daniel. Beneath it, a message. This is who I married. The man who looked at me like I was his whole world. I don't know when he disappeared, but I miss him. Simone's breath caught. That's heartbreaking. It is. Because she was right. I stopped seeing her really seeing her. I got comfortable, complacent. Assumed she'd always be there. He pocketed his phone. Don't let him do that to you. And more importantly, don't do it to yourself. I'm leaving him, Simone heard herself say. I've already decided. Good. Daniel's approval felt validating in a way she desperately needed. You deserve someone who shows up, who chooses you every single day, not just on the easy ones. Asterisk. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a business card. I know this might seem forward, but I own an art gallery downtown. We're hosting an exhibition next month, contemporary black artists. Actually, I'd love for you to come. No pressure, no expectations. Just ... If you need a reminder that there's a whole world out there waiting for you. Asterisk. Simone took the card, their fingers brushing. Why are you being so kind to me? Asterisk. Because someone should be. He stood, leaving cash on the bar. And because when I saw you sitting here, trying so hard to hold yourself together, I saw my ex-wife. I saw every moment I failed to be present. Every time she sat alone, wondering what she'd done wrong. The answer was nothing, Simone. She'd done nothing wrong. Neither have you. Asterisk. He started to walk away, then turned back. One more thing, that man at the door who's been staring at you for the past 5 minutes. I'm guessing that's your husband. Asterisk. Simone spun around. Marcus stood in the entrance, still in his work clothes, his face stricken. Daniel tipped an imaginary hat and disappeared into the crowd. Marcus approached slowly, like she might bolt. Your location was still shared. I saw you were here, and I just... Simone, I'm so sorry. Asterisk. Sorry for what? Canceling. Missing our anniversary. Or for the 364 days before it. Asterisk. He flinched. All of it. I've been a coward. I've been hiding at work because... Because I was terrified I wasn't enough for you. You're so vibrant and alive, and I'm just... Asterisk. You're just the man I married, Simone said softly. The man I chose. But Marcus, I can't be the only one choosing anymore. They stood there, the bar noise swirling around them, at the precipice of everything. Marcus reached for her hand. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'm asking anyway. Not for tonight, not for grand gestures, for every day, for showing up, for therapy, for hard conversations, for actually building a marriage instead of just existing in one. Asterisk. Simone looked at her ring, then at her husband, then at the business card in her other hand, a reminder that leaving was an option, that she had value beyond this moment. Asterisk. I'm not promising anything, she finally said, but I'm willing to try. One more time. But Marcus, if you don't show up, really show up, I'm gone. Okay? Asterisk. He nodded, tears in his eyes. I'll show up. Every day. I promise. Asterisk. As they left together, Simone glanced back at the bar. Daniel was watching from across the room, and when their eyes met, he smiled, proud, encouraging. A silent benediction. Asterisk. She'd been ready to leave. In many ways, she still was. But now she was leaving behind the woman who settled for crumbs of affection. And whether she rebuilt her marriage or built a new life entirely, she'd never forget the billionaire stranger who reminded her what it felt like to be truly seen. Asterisk. Sometimes salvation doesn't look like rescue, it looks like someone holding up a mirror and helping you remember who you are.